friends. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and I would like to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with me because today we are doing our second episode of Shop My Shelves. And this is a series that I started on my channel to just discuss books that I own physically and kind of give you some recommendations. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just an easier way for me to break down my reading, what's on my shelves, and kind of give you an insight to who I am and what I like to read. So, with all that being said, we have a lot of books to go through because today we are discussing, or I'm showing you, my romance collection. And I mainly read romance in some form or another. I think I could probably say that my most read genres are romance, fantasy romance slash romantasy, and then fantasy. So, yeah, this is probably one of the biggest genre collections that I have. And to keep from rambling and making this video even longer than it already is going to be, we're just gonna hop into the books. So when I did this video last, I broke it into genres and then into TBR books and books that I've read. So with this romance collection, I am going to be breaking it into authors first. So any author that I have more than one book from, any author I have more than one book by, you know what I'm trying to say. Those will be first, and I'll talk through the ones I've read and haven't read. And then we'll move into the authors that I only have one book from, and those will be split into TBR and read. And I'll tell you my rating. And if it's one of my favorites, you know I'm going to gush about it because you know how I am by now. And I'm still rambling on, and you know what? Let's just get into the book. All right. So I'm going to start off with probably one of the most well-known romance authors out right about now. She's killing the game. Everybody loves the series. So that is the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. So we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Hold on, angle change. So we have Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This was a 5-star read for me. Easily one of my favorite romances that I've ever read. Next, we have Take a Hint, Dani Brown. And I think this is a 5-star as well. Ate this up, loved this book just as much, if not equally, as the first. And finally, we conclude the series with Actor Age, Eve Brown. And this was 4.5 for me. Still loved it. It just didn't reach the level that the first two books did for me. And then I have another series by Farrah Roshan, and this is the Boyfriend Project series. And I accidentally read the last book first, so whatever. First, we have the Boyfriend Project, which I actually plan on picking up really soon. So we'll see how I feel about that. Then we have the Dating Playbook by Farrah Roshan, and I have not read this yet. And finally, in the series, we have the Hookup Plan, which I read and I gave 4 stars. Had a really good time with this. Workplace, academic rivals, to lovers, all the good things. Moving into an author who is easily becoming one of my favorites. I've only read 2 books by her, and I have loved them both, and I cannot wait to get my hands on more. And that is Chinsia C. Higgins. And the first book I have is Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding, and this is a 5-star, 6-star read for me. I read this book last year, and I'm pretty sure it was my favorite book that I read last year, and I just can't say enough great things about this book. It's Black, it's queer, it's a love story with no miscommunication. We love to see that, and just all the things. Pick this up for sure. And then we have a book that I just very recently read. I think it was actually in the last video that I posted, and that is A Little Kissing Between Friends. I ate this up as well. This is a 5-star read for me. I had the best time. Another queer Black romance, and it gave everything that I needed to give. I was laughing. It touched my heart. I just all good things to say about this book. Moving on, we have Christina Lauren. I have 2 books that I have read from them and 1 book still on my TBR. And that TBR book is The True Love Experiment, and I actually plan on getting to this soon. We'll see if it actually happens or not, but really excited about this one because it followed one of my favorite characters from The Soulmate Equation, which I read and gave 5 stars. I fell in love with this book and I had a really great time reading it. And then we have a book that I also just recently read in my last video, and that is The Unhoneymooners. And this was a 3.5 star for me. Really cute banter, chemistry between the couple was really good, had a fun time. And I have another series by Helen Huang. So the first book in that series is The Kiss Quotient, and I'm pretty sure this was a 4.5 series book for me. These feature neurodivergent characters and they're sexy and they're fun. I had a really good time reading this. I did have the second book in the series, The Bride Test, but I just didn't really enjoy that one and ended up unhauling it. But I still moved on in the series and read The Heart Principle, and I also really loved this. I think this was a 4 star read for me, and I had a really good time reading it. And I'm actually waiting for Helen to come out with some more books because, she did it for me, and maybe I need to check into her backlist because I don't know if this series is the only series that she has, but I would like to read more from her. If you have any information on Helen, let me know down in the comments. All right, y'all. So next I have my Jasmine Guillory stack. And yes, it's a stack because I have almost all of the books that she has published. And I guess I'm going to go in publication order of what I have. And yeah, let's just get into it. First up, we have The Wedding Date, and this is by far and easily my favorite Jasmine Guillory book. It was a 5 star for me, one of the first books that I picked up when I got back into reading, and I love this couple, their chemistry, their banter, the relationship. This was very fun and I had a great time reading it. Next up, we have The Proposal, which is another romance. I had fun with this one as well, but I think it ended up being like a 4 star. Yeah, still really enjoyed this couple. I ended up unhauling Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. It was either book 2 or 3. I can't quite remember, but yeah, I ended up unhauling that one because it wasn't my thing. And then next we have The Wedding Party. Now this one was either a 4 or 4.5. It's my second favorite out of all of her books. I guess this is like a hate to love type situation, but it was really fun and I liked our main characters in this. They were great. Then we have Party of Two. Yeah, this one was a 3 or a 3.5. Still fun, still cute. It was a little more political than what I wanted to read it, I guess. I don't know. It's just something about politicians that don't really hit for me. So I still enjoyed this one though. And then we have the last in this series. I think it's called the Wedding Date series. I don't remember. But that is While We Were Dating. And this was a 4 star read for me. It was, again, cute, fun, and I really enjoyed this couple. And I'm usually not one for like celebrity or like famous people romances, but this one did it for me. I had a good time. And this book is not in that series, but this is Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory. This is set in a winery, and I think we have like an older main character. Maybe I could be making that up. I don't know. Either way, this was cute. I love the winery setting, small town ish setting. Had a fun time with this. I think this was either a 3 or 3.5 for me as well. And I just really like holding on to Jasmine Guillory's book because when I need something fun, something cute, something I know I'm going to fly through and enjoy the couples, that's when I usually reach for those because I just know they're going to give me what I want. And okay, so now we're going to move into all of the books that I have read and we'll try to run through those as quickly as possible. All right, so starting off, we have The Davenports by Krista Marquise. And I just reread this book last month. So if you want to know my thoughts, it's in the Reading Historical Romance. It's because I Miss Bridgerton reading blog. That was a really long name. But anyway, I love this. This is a 4 star. It's a great time. We're following a group of young black kids in Chicago in 1910. 4 stars, really good time. And then we have a book that I don't think I've ever talked about on my channel, but I love this book and I probably need to start talking about it more because I think more people should read it. And that is Love Interest by Claire Gilmore. This was a 4.5 star read for me. I just really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was like the workplace romance that did it for me, or if it was the actual couple itself. I don't know. This just was a combination of all the things that I needed, and I think more people should pick this up. Next, we have On Rotation by Shirlene Obiobi. And I really enjoyed this book. So, yeah, this definitely gives hospital workplace vibes. Our main character was a mess, but she eventually got it together, and it was just, it was good to read. This was a 4-star read for me. And then we have one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. And this, of course, is a 5-star, 6-star read for me. Like, I absolutely loved everything about this book. Kiki and Kai will go down as one of my favorite couples ever. If you have not read this book, you need to, because it's going to give everything that it needs to give. And I didn't even think that I would enjoy this book as much because it's set in college. And I'm like, okay, girl, that is way past your time. But that did not matter. Like, this is so good. Their banter, their chemistry. eh, I can go on forever and forever about this book. Definitely, for sure, pick this up if you have not. Moving on to another book that I read. Did I read this year? I think I read this book this year and absolutely fell in love with this couple that is outdrawn by Deanna Gray. Noah and Sage Have My Heart. This is a 4.5-star read for me. And the way that I just related to this book, and like, I don't know, me and Sage are like the same person, and I just could not believe that I had finally like found myself in a book, and I just ate this up. This was so good. 4.5 stars. Definitely pick this one up too. Actually pick them all up, but I'm gonna keep saying it anyway. Oh, we're just running into all the phase, and I love it. So I also read this book not too long ago, either last month. It was either in June or July. I can't remember, but that is You've Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, and pick this up for sure. Akwaeke Emezi, who wrote the hell out of this book. This was a 5-star read for me. This was messy. This was an exploration of grief and of love and what that looks like. And I just had the best time. Now, you could be said that this is more like contemporary fiction or like literary, but I want to put it in the romance category because romance doesn't necessarily have to mean what we usually think that it means. And a love story can be romance, in my opinion, anyway. And this is definitely a love story. So, yeah, it may not be, the cute, fluffy romance, but I still think that it deserves to be called romance because it just looks different for everybody. You know what? I'm not going on a speech, not the place or the time. You should still pick this book up because it was absolutely amazing. Then we have The Fastest Way to Fall by Denise Williams. And this is a cute, fun time, plus size romance. Yeah, I think I gave this like a 3.5. If you're looking for something, that's just fun and quick, I really enjoyed this one. Then we have Token by Beverly Kendall. And this book was really good. I ended up giving it a 4-star. It discussed workplace diversity and inclusion and what that actually looks like and what the reality of that is for Black women or just people of color in general. So it had some really interesting discussions in it. And the romance in it was cute as well. So if you're looking for, that vibe, this was a 4-star read. I enjoyed it. And we have The Romantic Agenda by Claire Kahn. This was such a good read for me. This was the first book that I read that featured a sexual representation, and it just kind of, opened my eyes to what that actually looks like and can look like. Even though it was one example, it was a really good example in my opinion. So 4-star, good read, definitely. I'm going to stop saying pick this up because I've said it after every book, but I can't help myself. I can't help it. They're all so good. Next, we have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. And this is also one that could be said that it leans a little more towards literary or contemporary, but it was still about love and about romance and a relationship. So it goes in this category, in my opinion. And I gave this book 4 stars, and it follows girl who just completed her PhD in astronomy, and she's just trying to figure out life and what happens when things don't go as planned. Another one of my all-time favorite romances that I actually plan to reread really soon because I need to read this again. And that is Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. The way I ate this book up, the love I have for this book, the love that I have for what's his name? Roman, and what's her Roman and Janelle, like And this is a book for the book girlies. Okay, if you are a bookish person, like Roman is gonna do it for you. Is all I'm gonna say. Pick this up. This is a 5-star read, easily one of my favorites as well. Read this. It's short. It's set in Tulum. Get your summer vibes on. Like, read this book. And going into the complete opposite of that, we have a Christmas book, and that is "Kiss Her Once for Me" by Alison Cochran. So this is fake dating in the messiest way possible, because she decides to fake date this man, not knowing that his sister is somebody who she had this whirlwind one day romance with. So imagine showing up to that family Christmas dinner and be like, hey, what? So anyway, this was fun. This was cool. A good holiday read if you are looking for one. Another holiday read that I really enjoyed and that was different for me, and that is A Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonia Lally. Check out their rhyme though. That was cute, wasn't it? Like, but anyway, I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed learning about Diwali and about Indian culture. So yeah, if you're looking for some holiday romances that aren't necessarily Christmas, I definitely recommend this one. This was a 4.5 for me, and I had a really good time reading it. Next, we have Zora Books Her Happily Ever After by Taj McCoy, and this is a love triangle, and it's another bookish book, and it was cute. It was fun. I think this ended up being 3-star, maybe. I can't really remember. But yeah, this was fun, and if you are looking for a love triangle, I know love triangle gets some hate sometimes, but if that's your thing, you don't have to be ashamed and you should pick this one up. And we run into another favorite of mine, and that is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. The way I ate this book up, the way Julian and Dahlia did it for me, I had the best time with this book. Now, it is long. It's long, but I personally thought it was worth it. 5-star read for me. One of my favorite romances of last year, and I had a good time. Moving into some more recent favorites, we have Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. And y'all, this aid, I read this in that historical romances vlog, and the way that this was just amazing. It touched on some heavier topics, but the romance was really cute, really sweet, and I loved learning about like the Mexican culture that's in this book. I just had a really good time, and it was also very surprising. I ended up giving this a 4.5, and I really think for sure more people should pick this one up as well. It's a series, and I think each book is going to follow a sister. So yes, we need to be reading this. And the last book from my romance collection that I have read is Truly Madly Deeply by Alexandria Bell Fleur. And y'all need to pick this one up too. Like, for sure, for sure. This was so good. It was a 4.5 for me as well. And let me tell you about Colin. Y'all gonna like Colin if y'all read this book. If you like your man on his knees begging, literally, this book's for you. This book's for you. It's also another queer romance, and this was just also another surprise. I was not expecting this to do what it did for me, and it did everything. So pick this one up for sure. Alrighty, y'all. Now we are going to move into the books that are on my TBR, and it's actually a lot fewer than I expected. Am I reading through my physical TBR? Do I need to go buy more books? I don't know, but this is shocking. I for sure thought that it would be so much more than what it is. But anyway, let's get into these TBR books. First off, we have Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin, another bookish book. We have Where We End and Begin by Jangi Haro, and I think this is a high school sweetheart second chance type situation, but I love this cover. Like, this is beautiful. Beautiful. We have The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest, and I'm so embarrassed that I have not read this book yet, but y'all, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I put it on my 24 in 2024 because this has to happen this year. Another bookish book, one that has been kind of sweeping through the book community lately, and that is How to End a Love Story by Yulin Kwong. And this is another book that I think is an example of a love story, but this cover is very deceiving because this cover gives fluffy, and from the reviews I've heard, it's not fluffy. It's not, but I still am excited to read this and to see what this is going to give. Then we have You Again by Kate Goldbeck, and I really am excited to read this. I've heard it's not a fall book. I've heard that right. But I cannot make myself like believe that. Like, look at this cover. Like, I can't read this book in any other time other than fall because, like, this cover gives fall in all caps. So I'm not trying to make it happen this fall, but I cannot wait to read this book. I've heard some really good things and I'm hoping it's good to me. And we have a new release that is actually very new, and that is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. This will be my first Ashley Poston, and I'm a little nervous about it because her other books just didn't sound like something that I would enjoy. But this is again a bookish book, and I love bookish books. So I'm hoping that this one works for me. I want to be on the Ashley Poston train. I feel left out when everybody's talking about her and I don't know anything. So hopefully, this will be a good entrance for me into her books. Finally, we have Lease on Love by Fallon Ballard, and I think this is a roommates to lovers type romance, and I should be reading this really soon, so you'll know my thoughts on that shortly after this video is posted. Alrighty, y'all, we have shopped my shelves for some romance books, and what I will say is that I did not include fantasy romance in this because I'm going to make it its own separate video, so be on the lookout for that one. Let me know if there are any other categories that you want me to shop my shelves for. I have some ideas in my head, but of course I want to include my audience and making sure that I am making videos that y'all are interested in. So if there's any like niche genre or even bigger genre that y'all want me to cover, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to get that filmed for you. Thank you so much again for watching this video and for supporting my channel. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have the best day that you possibly can, and I'll see you soon. Bye.